Four of their members are going to be performing here. Jay and Chris, David Barrett, Matt Watrova, and Annie Katz. Thank you. My ringer in the crowd. Thank you very much. Well, I do want to draw for some tickets for some upcoming shows. If you have your tickets, we'll give away a pair of tickets for next Friday's show with the Yellow Room Gang. (419) or 415-401.
Bingo.
415-401. Oh, you're ready. Oh, great. See you at trouble. And then we'll do another one for the show on Saturday the 19th with Michael on Fire, with a wonderful singer-songwriter. And we'll give away a pair of tickets to 415-391. Oh, great. Catch me at the intermission. Hold on to the tickets. We'll do some more drawings at the intermission.
Are we having an intermission?
Oh, no, there's no intermission. That's all the tickets we're giving away.
We should give away one for Joe Comcast.
Oh, sure. I'll give one more.
Because we're not having an intermission.
Yes,
And that's another jazz show.
We'll give away one for the Joe Comcast.
It's on a Sunday at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Yeah. 415-373. There you go.
Nice.
Well, his last name is Lucky, so it makes sense that he would win. But in reality, you guys are all welcome tonight because you're here at Trinity House for this wonderful evening of music, and we're looking so forward to it. So please join us in welcoming the Trinity House stage, David Garfield.
for it. Normally I get to say I got you. Because I go, hey, we're in Detroit. We're here. Thank you guys for coming. That was Night Tunisia, Dizzy Gillespie. And I'm going to do something now I wrote from my first record called Dream Come True. Thank you. Thank you. It's a very special evening. That's all I can say. A lot of different forces put this one together, and people here from all over. And I want to thank all of you for coming. And Trinity House, what a great place. We're glad to be here. We're definitely going to come back, and we also are thrilled to be part of the jazz series. And so great to see you guys supporting live music. And people here are working hard to do this, to bring it to you. And I don't think they're getting rich. It's the love of the music. So I want to thank my brother Stan. I think some of you know Stan Garfield. He's like a local impresario now in Northfield. This song is for him. Recognize it? I do. Yeah, I was living Golden Street, right?
Right.
Okay,
Correct.
we have a lot of history. At this point, we got old. And 50 years have gone by since I went up to Los Angeles to start my career in the big time. So, in 50 years, had a lot of fun. Been playing Green Dolphin Street many times, all over the world. And Stan, you came to a lot of those shows back in the day with Freddie Hubbard and people like George Benson, Boz Scaggs, many great people. We have a great program tonight. I have with me one of my dear friends. He's amazing, and he lives not too far these days because he married a beautiful woman in Cincinnati. So there you go. And he was in between tours and was able to drive up to be with me today. So please welcome to the stage Mr. Walfredo Reyes Jr. Walfredo Reyes Jr. Wally. Also known as Wally King. And we just had a great time playing together for the last 40 years, so it's a special reunion. I want to do Morning, Claire Fisher.
Yeah,
Did you ever play with Claire?
a lot of years.
Oh boy, I won't say any more. Okay, thank you very much, thank you. Question, does anybody know the first person, who wrote that song? Come on. Starts with a Stevie, and ends with a Wonder. Who got it, who got it? This guy right there. I guess I'm too old, because that was on fulfilling his first finale. Yeah. I'm dating myself. I used to be young, but time happened. He won it. Yes, Stevie Wonder is too shy to say, disguised beyond recognition. But I recorded it on the Seasons of Change record, which was a trio record, live in the studio, percussion, bass, and keys with Abraham and Louise. It was great. Nice. And I was like playing that, and that was really fun. And of course, it brings to mind the time I met Stevie Wonder, one of the times, and this time we had played with our band after he played in Vegas at the CES show, and we were the after party, and we played. And he was in the back, and it was late at night, and I saw him, and oh man, I gotta go up and say hi to Stevie. And he came out of the bathroom, and I was out there, and Stevie, you know, I love you so much, you're such inspiration. I was the music that played after you tonight. And he shook my hand, he squeezed it, and he goes, oh yeah, you guys are good. And I realized that he listens to everything. That's what he does. He was sitting around and he was listening to us, so it was cool. But now I want to talk about Walfredo a little bit because it's such a treat that you came up from Cincinnati. Yeah. Listen, we've been playing together since the 80s. We've had so much fun together, and we're like family. But I got to tell you, he's from an incredible musical family. And I want to actually ask you to talk a little bit about, because his father is one of the greats, and we'll talk all about that. But before we do that, I just want to say he's currently a member of the group Chicago, tours with them on drums. You can see him, stuff like that. Yeah. And it was New Year's Eve or 4th of July on CNN. I'm going, there's the guys, you know, they play a lot of great gigs. I can't get hired on those gigs yet, but he's Chicago. He was with Santana for many years, and David Lindley. That was a great group with Jackson Brown too, and Boss Gags, and many more. We were with Boz together, but he's been in demand. Steve Winwood, Traffic. Anybody old enough to remember Traffic? Dear Mr. Fantasy. Did you play that song? Oh man, you're my hero. I want Wally to tell you about his family a little bit because it's a special. His dad is 91 now, and he's amazing. Can I do that, Wally?
Sure. Put me on the spot.
Wally.
Oh, thank you so much. David wants me to talk about me and my father, but this guy right here, one of the greatest pianists, rhythm section composers and orchestrators, composer and arranger, which is two different things. He composing songs, original songs, and then he arranges other people's songs that groove sometimes more than the original. And he's, do yourself a favor. There's a lot of CDs in the front out there, and there's a lot of great musicians that are on those CDs. Some of them are not with us anymore, like the great Jeff Porcaro, Carlos Vega. They're all friends of ours, and those CDs mean a lot to us, and you'll be able to really dig the music. But going back, my father, Walfredo Sr., was one of the first drummers in Cuba that mixed American drums, jazz, R&B with Latin percussion. He played both. So in those days in Cuba, in Havana, the tourists used to go and dance to American band like foxtrot, swing, and all that, which my father did. Then there was the Latin band, which my father did. So he said one day, why do I need two different setups? I'm going to bring the congas, the timbales, everything into the drum set. And there goes, he was, of course, met with criticism at the beginning. You don't mix Latin with American drums. And here we are today. There's like 1,000 drummers doing it. And so that was my dad, and he's always current. And he's 91, but God bless his heart. Sometimes I get a text from him and a YouTube video. He goes, hey, have you heard this kid? He's playing his butt off. Check him out. And I can tell my dad is on YouTube checking. And so it's really great. And I have to say this, I'm so grateful because my daughter Liliana did a degree in USC in music. And on her last year, because of David, she auditioned for George Benson on vocals and percussion. And she got the gig both times. And if it wasn't for this man, my daughter wouldn't have been with George Benson. Thank you. From 2014 to recently. I know George has slowed down and he's not traveling anymore, but she gained a wealth of experience and information, and I'm forever indebted to David Garfield because, all the guys with George Benson were so great, including George. And when I asked, hey, how's Liliana doing? He goes, man, it's George Benson and the cats and the kitten. So thank you. And we're going to go on, and this is so much fun to be here. Thank you all for being here today. I mean, you could be home watching reruns of Beretta, and here you are. So thank you.
Walfredo Reyes Jr. Yeah, we got a lot of stories, but we'll play more music for you. But I'll just say this, the thrill for me was getting to record you and your dad and your two brothers and your daughter all in. That's actually one of our great songs that we recorded. It's done quite well.
Yeah.
But that was a family affair.
Yes. The Minnie Riperton song, right?
Loving you.
Loving you.
Yeah. In fact, I should say this, his brother Danny is a member of the Zach Brown band. They're a great band. And we'll tell you more stories. In fact, after the show, we'll be hanging out and talking stories. We have a lot of surprises for you, but this is a fun, very fun evening to reunite with my friend. And so we're going to do something that I recorded on one of the records. It's my all-time favorite jazz arrangement. You think you might recognize this one? Maybe. Thank you. Wow. Yeah, thank you. That means a lot. Yeah. Walfredo Reyes Jr. Walfredo Reyes. Yeah, man. Yeah. Yours truly, David Garfield on keyboard. Yeah. How's the streaming going?
Looking good.
Nolan is our IT man. He's taking care of the streaming. We've got some relatives that wanted to see this, and we have a very special guest coming up now. You guys having a good time? Yeah! I'll tell you, it's all about the music. It's all about the music. I mean, in 50 years in LA, I got a few stories to tell. I mean, I don't say this normally, but I think you guys can handle this. I've seen John Davidson naked. Anyway, he moved to Branson. He's a Branson. But, you know, a lot of stories happened before cell phones with pictures and videos, I'll tell you that. But we had a wonderful time. Gosh, the different acts that we work with, and it's crazy, but we play a lot like this in different places. This is a great venue. This is my favorite venue in this area. We like what you're doing here, Bill. Keith, let's thank you, Bill, and all the staff. We have a special guest getting ready to come on stage. Not only is she young, she's beautiful and talented. Oh my gosh, all three that I very much admire. We're going to bring to the stage, very lovely, Miss Lily Dixon. Lily Dixon. Yes, so Lily is related to me. She's my cousin, and she's at the university called Michigan State. It's just down the road that way, and it's Spartans, right? Okay, I got that part right. And, anyway, we're going to do something now that I got to play with this gentleman, like we said many years ago. I was with Freddie Hubbard, and I was 19 and I was scared out of my mind, but it was a great training. And this is one of his great songs called Little Sunflower. One, two, you know what you do. everybody. Walfredo Reyes Jr. Yeah. It's a blessing to make music. It's this great way to connect with people. Lily is from the UP. Have you heard of that? It's in this state, but it's farther away than California. And I was very impressed when I got to see her senior year of high school with the Louis Armstrong Jazz Award, right? You know, I'm old enough to know Louis Armstrong. Not really, but anyway, but she's a delight, and we're so glad you're here with us. Yeah. So did anybody, yeah, you recognize that one? That was Human Nature, which is written by a very close friend of mine, a guy named Steve Porcaro, who's been my friend. Yeah, thank you. We'll take some applause for Steve. Steve wrote a song that got recorded on the biggest selling album of history. How do you like that? I'm happy for it. And he also, besides Michael Jackson, Miles Davis recorded it, which was very cool. And then it's been sampled a lot, you know. So that's cool. I'm very happy for him. And he's actually playing with me a week from tonight back in LA. We're doing all these great shows, and we're going to be in New York. Anybody going to be in New York? 2 weeks. We'll be there at the bitter end. And then Nashville. We're starting to break out, and I think we're going to do something in the UP pretty soon. Thank you. I love it up there. And I got a shout out for Callie. I just throw it out. Callie. We love you, Callie. But I'll tell you what when I went up there, I'll tell you a very quick story. So I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, and I was honored by inducted into the Hall of Fame for my school recently, and I said I would like to go back and do some music workshops at the school and stuff like that. So they brought me back, and what I had to go through to get into that school in St. Louis, Missouri was crazy. I had to get fingerprinted. I mean, I had to have a background check. People came to my house with medical instruments. It was crazy. And then they had to list me as childcare because I wasn't working there. I was going into the school as a non-employee, and I had a badge. And, it was crazy. So then I was going to go up to the UP, and she was in the senior jazz band, and I asked her dad is here. You better talk to him about getting the fingerprints. I can get all that stuff up there. And he's like, yeah. I go up to the UP, and we just walk into the classroom. And we're going to do something that I wrote that's going to feature Lily, and it's called Harvest Time. All right, thank you so much. We're going to close the show with a song which is one of the all-time great jazz standards, written by a very dear friend of mine, Mr. Horace Silver. We've recorded it, and we hope you like it. It's called "Song for My Father," dedicated to all the fathers. Yeah. Had to do that on the up. You know what? Dave Brubeck was the sweetest guy. We were on tour. He's like one of the giants of jazz, innovators, stars. We were on tour. And at the breakfast table, he had a video camera. He wanted to interview everybody. He wanted to interview me. I'm like, wait a second, you're Dave Brubeck. But I told him about the time I saw him play. And his band was Alan Dawson.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was great. Quick side note.
Joe Morello.
Well, he was the original, yes, Joe Morello. But we saw him one time, and well, here's a. You want to hear a story?
Yes.
So, I had such, people say I should write a book. I don't know who would buy it, but I'll tell you what, I enjoyed my life, and got to hang out with these greats like Dave Brubeck, Bill Evans, and people. And Dave Brubeck was telling me that they used to have to do an album every 3 months for Columbia. The contract was every 3 months they had to have a new album. This is going to give you a little insight into why they had all these themes, like Brubeck in Asia, Brubeck South of the Border. They were trying to come up, I got to come up with an album. And it was a different time because there wasn't so much music out there. Today, there's like 100,000 new songs released each day to Spotify.
Wow.
And most of them probably not great. But back in these times, the phonograph and stereo records was rather new. They didn't have, even, they just had jukeboxes, radio, and LPs. But, they didn't have time for a lot of other stuff. So then they asked him to write the Peanuts theme, They asked him to write the theme for the Peanuts special. He said, I can't deal with that. I'm busy. New album every 3 months. So then he referred them to Denny Zeitlin, who was another great pianist in the Bay Area, jazz pianist, and he was too busy too. So he referred him to Vince Guaraldi, who wrote, the Peanuts theme. Right? He wrote that stuff. So the guys in New York were waiting for the music to come. It was before the internet. They had no way of knowing what music was coming. They paid to have the Peanuts music written for the holiday special. They're in New York. They're in the studio. They're waiting for the tapes to come by courier. They have no idea what it's going to sound like. It's their third choice, Vince Guaraldi. They never heard of him. Tapes come in. They put it on the tape machine. They put it. Let's hear it. They put it on. The guy goes, I hate this. I never want to work with this guy again. Ever. And then, but they had to play it. And so they played it on TV that night.
Oh, wow.
And I think Vince Guaraldi won that battle. Yeah. This guy that said, I think he got kicked out. With that Peanuts theme. Isn't that an interesting story?
Yeah.
We got a lot of them.
The same guy who said Queen wasn't going to be any good.
Oh, exactly. All the stories. And and when you were with Santana, what was that like? Crazy?
We were like touring all the time.
Yeah.
And the same thing, Carlos would use the sound checks to compose because the record company's going, you're touring with old songs, so we want to hear something new, and you don't have time on the road. Sometimes you gotta sleep. And so he would use the sound check and jam sessions. I would come in and go, so come number 1, 2, 3, give me a beat. And we were like, and then somebody would play, and Carlos would play and go, that's it for the next album.
You're here tonight. Well, one more time, I want to thank Walfredo Reyes Jr. Lily Dixon. And Bill Keith, our sound man. And all of you for supporting this. And thank my brother Stan for making this happen. Yours truly, David Garfield. Thank you. you know what? I'm gonna do a very special shout out to my grandmother, Hermine Dannenbaum Nussbaum, who bought a beautiful Steinway piano in 1922. And she happens to be my grandmother. She's a few other people's grandmothers here, and she's your great-great-grandmother. And she bought the piano, and I got it in my house now. It's really a gift of music. And your father and your family and your parents and your brother and your grandparents and everybody. We love you all. Thank you for coming. Thank you so much. I want to tell you something. This is Lily's first gig ever. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for the audience. Please support the Trinity Theater for the other concerts, the jazz series. There's a great group coming from Chicago that I was digging at the sound check. What are they called? Like he said. Thank you.
That was your first one, right? You gonna be out here? Yeah, I'll be hanging around.
So is there like people commenting and stuff?